Good morning.
Hey, good morning, John. This is Raghu. Hi.
Hi.
So can Chris hear us or you still connecting to voice?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Chris. Hi. Good morning. Okay. Yeah, thank you for joining this call and sorry for rescheduling the call earlier. Today we will have a quick demo on two of the applications, Service Scheduler, and we will look at the Service Technician, so which is used for time punching, like clock in, clock out, and starting the posting time on the jobs, writing the story, and taking pictures and document control overall. I will show you both the applications, that is Service Tech, the web mode, and also mobile mode or the mobile app. And agenda for the day is just to have a feel of the product what we have and how it's going to impact the service technicians and service managers. That's where when we plan for the deployment, we need to be sure that how are we going to do that. Are we going to do all at once, or we are going to do it in a phase? And it will just help us to prepare for logistics and deployment plans. So this is the agenda. So let me begin with the Service Scheduler. So Service Scheduler is the application which will allow service writers, managers, supervisors to schedule their technicians' work. Okay, so you have all the jobs created in service session in the Extend ERP, and which will be displayed in the service scheduler, and you'll be able to pick and draw on the calendar for a specific mechanic. And mechanic will get, or service technician will get notifications through the mobile app or emails saying this is the work order that has been assigned, and they can start working on it. So I'll just go through quickly on the service scheduler side of it. So this is the service scheduler web page. Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So this is the page for the service scheduler. So you have a username, login. I have already entered that. I can click on the login button here. Yeah. Okay. So once I log in, it will take me to the main page or the service scheduler page, where it's divided into three panes or the three parts. The first section here is your work order section. So it will show you all the jobs that are released or completed. Okay. We don't show any of the open jobs. That is something that has been just keyed in. No service segment or maybe segment is added, but it is not yet released. So those will not be displayed. You have the costed jobs. Those will not be displayed here either, because it's already done. It's nothing to do with the service technician for scheduling purposes. So we just show you the released and the completed jobs. Now there are different color coding done. So based on the colors, you can identify whether it is assigned or it's being completed or not. Now most of these color codings, the icons, everything is part of this legend. So if I click on this legend, it will give me explanation of each of the colors and each of the highlights or icons. Okay. So you have work orders here. Once we enable the Google Map, like it's a paid service from the Google side, so Google will, you have to register with Google to get that service. So once that is done, you will be seeing the map, and based on the mobile application, your location will be tracked, and that will be displayed here. So sitting at one of those, you'll be able to see where your mechanics are in the real time, where those mechanics are located, and based on your machine worksite address, you can identify where those jobs are. So when you create a job with the field address, it will show on the map. So it's very easy for you to then schedule looking at the technician's location and the work location, who should go where. Okay. So work order, and then there is a at the bottom you will see all the technicians. Okay. Now we are just displaying the technician from Lubbock branch here because he will be scheduling, a service manager from Lubbock will be scheduling for his own people. So he will be scheduling for his team. Any questions on this so far?
Not from me.
Okay. Okay. So if there are multiple segments, so if I click on the work order and click on the plus button, it will show you the segments. If there are multiple, you'll be able to see both the segments here. So it's a basic information that is shown on the first page right here. But if you want to look into the details, you can right click. So you can click on this, then right click and click on details. So that will show you the complete details. Again, you have all the data that is keyed in your service job in the eService CRP will be displayed here. So it's complete information that is displayed here. Segment details, and you have warranty. If there is any warranty active, you will be able to see that. If parts are already added on the job, you'll be able to see all those part numbers here with whether issued or delivered or not. Assignments, if a mechanic has already been assigned, you'll be able to see that assignment, or if he has already worked on it, you'll be able to see that as well. Okay, so we can see the segment text, so complaint cause correction. If you want to update right here some of the details, you can do that, and it will also get updated back into Extend ERP. Okay.
Is that real time or is that done on a interval?
It's a real time. It's real time.
Okay, great.
It's real time with the tracking. There is a history we are now maintaining to track who updated the text when and what.
Awesome.
Again, that is to go towards your case warranty, getting electronically certified.
Right.
So that's where we are heading towards. So that's the reason why we had that development done in last couple of months. Okay. So it's real time. Whenever you update anything here, it will get updated into the service shop. Okay. Now there is a in the service app, mobile application, that is the service tech application for the technicians. There is an option to do a sign-off report. So they can go to the customers. Once they complete their job or complete the day work, they can bring up the sign-off report, get it signed, and submit it to service manager. And that sign-off report will also get attached to the job. So anytime if you want, if the job is going for multiple days, you'll be able to see each day's sign-off reports. So that way you know what exactly and how many hours he worked on site and what exactly he did on that day, or just to see whether he went there and spent 4 hours, and here is the proof from customer acknowledging that he has worked here for 4 hours. Okay. So the assignment job is very simple. It's just selecting the job. So let's say if I want to assign this particular job, I can just click on the job and place it on the person who is going to work on it. So just click here and save. So the moment I do that, system is going to send me a notification. Currently, I have also logged into a service tech application for this person. So I am getting that notification on my app. Okay. So I'll just show you that quickly. So moment you do that in the real time, mechanic will get a notification on his phone, and he can click on that notification and jump onto that particular job and start working on it if he is close by, if it is a shop job. If it is a travel job, if it is a field job, he can start travel, he can go there and start working on it. Okay. Now you can, by default, currently system is allocating this job for full all 8 hours, but you can if there is an estimated time maintained on a job, then it will allocate only for that estimated time. So if you have estimated the job for 2 hours, it will allocate the day only for 2 hours. Okay. There is also an option which we can discuss and change during our training on how much default number of hours it should allocate. Okay. So that's how the service tech service scheduler will work. So you just need to drag, or you just need to click here and assign it to a mechanic you want to start working with, and that's it.
So I think I understand the boxes on the mechanics, but just to make sure, the blue ones are hours that they're not normally on the job?
Perfect. Yes.
And
yes.
Green is available, red is already assigned?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So if I go to the legends, I'll be able to see that right here. Allocated work hours, okay, technician shift hours, and the blue is not available. Now, you have other nomenclatures here, U. Currently, if you see, there is U here, so that means it's unactioned. So there is no action yet taken by the mechanic. So there is an option for mechanic to accept project. Again, it is choice for you to implement or not. The typical cases would be, let's say, if a mechanic is working on a machine on a job site, and you have assigned the next job for him. But if he is not going to reach to the next job, he may want to reject that. And once he rejects, you will be notified, and you can go back and deallocate and allocate it to somebody else. So, for example, this one, he rejected this job, so I can right click on it and I can say reallocate, and I can reallocate to this guy. So that way, none of the jobs will get unattended. There will be some action happening on the jobs if you have any mechanic available to work on it. So all these we can discuss in detail, but this is the basics of it, how the screen and the layout and how it is going to impact the service manager and service writers, and how it is going to impact the service technician as far as notifications and things like that.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll move on to the next topic. Any questions, Shelley and Chris, you have on this topic?
No, sir.
Okay. Good. So I'll take you to the application that is the service technician. So service tech, we have a web application which is typically used by shop floor mechanics, because you may not have given them the mobile phones. In that case, you can deploy 2 or 3 machines or lab computers there, and desktop computers, and they can work using those desktop computers. Or if everybody has got their own laptops, because they might be doing some technical tests and things like that, then they can access through those those desktops or the laptops given to them. Okay, so this is one. Second is, and just I'm not able to show you from my phone, but I have a BlueStack app through which I can open up any of the Android applications. So this is the mobile phone. So consider this as your mobile phone screen, and you will have a login page like this. So I am BJC2 as my mechanic's number and password and login. So the moment I log in, I'll be able to see this work order that is assigned to me. So today while earlier when we were looking at the service scheduler, I assigned a job to myself. So this is the job here. Okay, it says an action, so I can click on that, and I have an option to start, reject, or I can accept it, or I can begin travel. So if it's a far away from here, and if I have to travel, I can click on the begin travel. The travel time will start recording. And once I'm done traveling, I can start working on it. And so I'll just explain the entire screen now. Okay. So as we discussed, there is a mobile application and also there is a web application. So first, let me go through the mobile application, because that is something which will be impacting most of your mechanics who are on field. Okay. So we just saw the login page. So once we log in, you have assigned orders displayed here. Okay. Apart from that, if you want to see all the jobs, you can see all the jobs, all the work order that has been there for the branch Lubbock, because this guy belongs to Lubbock. Okay. So if I pull this to the right, left, I see there's an option as assign orders, all orders with started tasks. So if I'm already working on a particular task, I'll be able to see that right here. So when I click on that, I'll be able to see if I am working on any particular task or not. So currently I'm not working on any task. I have not done anything. So now, so moment the mechanic starts his day, he has to clock in. So moment he hits the clock in, that's when the time starts as far his payroll is concerned. So it indicates that mechanic walked in and he started his job, his day with ASCO. Okay, so clock in. So now I've clocked in. Now my time is getting posted. Now because I have not logged into any of the jobs, or I am not posting any of the jobs, it's all going into an idle time. Okay, we can configure where it should go, what job or what segment it should hit. Typically, it's going into one of the monthly work orders, so that you can track that idle time and move around as required and as required to bill it to the customer or internal or whatever. Okay. So once you clock in, you can go to the assigned orders. I can click here. It will bring up this page. I have the work order number, the description of the work, and you have the customer and location address. What is the timestamp you want him to work on this job? Okay. Now, if I want to accept as a mechanic, I can do that. Again, this is a choice. If you don't want them to accept or reject, we can disable these two icons. So moment I accept, okay, my service tech will also get updated in real time. So if I go back to the service tech and I'll just do a refresh, you will see this as A. So after every 5 minutes or 6 minutes, this page will get refreshed, and right away you will know what is the status of the job that was assigned.
Does that accepted or rejected status show up in ERP anywhere, or is it only in this application?
Only in this application.
Okay.
Yeah. So typically, this we have seen this being, some dealerships have a bigger monitors where they display it on the big screen. That way, they can come and look at. Anytime the service manager or writer walks in, its screen getting refreshed, and they will be able to see the status of each of the jobs.
Great.
Okay.
You said that service managers are assigned to, or the dispatcher is assigned to a branch. If you want to have somebody assigned to all of them so that they can see all the jobs, is that something that can be done?
Yes, that can be done. Yes.
Okay. Great.
So that is part of the setup here. So if I go to admin, I'll be able to go and do that. Admin, edit, and here I can say default service center. I have to assign one default service center, but now I am authorized to go and work on these service centers.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I've accepted it. Now I need to travel, so I can begin travel. So let me just click on this begin travel. So moment I hit begin travel, system get me the route. So source currently I have not enabled the Google Maps, so it's not there. So I'm going to set it as not using, okay. Okay, so this is the BlueStack app. I'll not be able to do that. Okay, so there's an option here. When you click on the begin travel, it will bring up the source, that is, it will identify where the mechanic's location is, and it will bring up the source here. And this will be the job site address. And you can click on the get route, so to see what the route is, and what is the map is. And you can also click on the begin travel. And the moment you click on the begin travel, system will will show you the total number of miles that you will be traveling. So right away you know how much estimated miles on the job, and that will also get allocated to the job. That will assign to the job saying these are the estimated travel miles. And when you complete the travel, system will also post the actual travel miles on the same job. It will also record a travel time separately on the same job on a different line, saying it's a travel time of 2 hours, and it will go to the same work order. Okay, so I'm not going to do the travel here because it's not going to work, because it's a BlueStack app and not my mobile phone. Okay, so let me close this. So once I want to start once I reach the job site, I can click on start. So the moment I click on start, now my time is actually clocking in for this particular job. So till the time, from clocking what I did at the beginning to the start of this job, everything went into idle time. Okay, so that idle time needs to be taken care of when they at the end of the day. If you want to assign it to some job, if user missed on clicking on something, or it will go in as a idle time, which will be an expense to you. Now, once it is posted into Extend ERP, you can still manipulate and move around that idle time to any of the job you want. If something you want to recoup out of by putting it on a customer job because you had a code for 5 hours and work was done in 3 hours, you can do that. Okay.
Is there a increment that is it going to put 10 seconds of idle time if it takes you that long to click one button then the other, or is it only going to do 6-minute intervals, or
there is an interval setup we have, so I'll show, it's part of the parameter session. Okay. So that is something which we can discuss, how you want to configure that, and we can preset that with the setup that we have in all the other dealerships, and you can look at that if that works for you.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the start of the job. So my time is getting clocked on it. I'll just show you other elements that is there for mechanics who can actually look into this and get more details out of the job. So you have a task. So if there's an estimated task, you'll be able to see the estimated task, and they know how much of diagnostic time allocated, how much of a repair job, how much of time for a repair is allocated. You can exceed than that, but it's just an estimation that can be seen here. If there's any parts allocated, they'll be able to see all the parts with the delivery confirmations. And if there's anything on back order, they'll be able to see the same. Others, if there's any miles or anything that is posted, you'll be able to see that here. So you have equipment details showing you what that machine is, the serial number, meter reading. So you can change the meter reading. If you are authorized, you will be able to change the meter reading right here. Okay. Again, it is based on the authorizations what we have in the setup for the mechanical service technicians. Warranty, it will display the warranty information if any. Service history. So if there is any machine work done earlier, including this one, will be shown here. So it will display all the jobs done to this particular machine. And you can go and look at the segment debrief to see all the segment details, like the cost, correction, coverage, all the text for all the jobs that is done for that machine. Okay. Now again, this is configurable. You can have experienced service technicians having access to this, but a fairly new technician won't have access to this, things like that. Because if you display on the warranty, they may go and tell the customer, yeah, it's covered under warranty, which is not. The the case. So again, it's sensitive data, so you have to make a decision whether you want to share that information to customer, to your technicians. If you are sharing, with whom you are sharing, that can be configured. Just like your DEM roles, we can set up the roles for technicians also. Okay. So you have equipment detail segment debrief for this particular segment. If there's any complaint cause correction, you can enter that here. Now, once you click on enter the data and click on save, system will update the backend ERP system. Okay. So voice to text is also supported. It's a voice to text of the native app, that is the Android and the iOS. So even that works fairly good. Again, it all depends on the accent and the diction of the technician. Okay. So worksite, this will show you the worksite address with the map. Okay. So again, it is connected to the Google Map. So once you enable the Google Map, it will show you the directions and it will directly take you to the Google Map app. And then the document management. So if you go here, you can select or add images. So you can click on plus. You can take photo, or you can choose photo from gallery. So I select this, I click on upload. So again, this is attached to the service job in Extend. So the moment you save, it will automatically go into the service job, and from the document control, you will be able to see that IDM or the images, wherever the work order images are stored, you'll be able to see it from there. Okay. So annotations are also there. So let me just bring up again. So if you have this image, if you want to edit and mark something for the to indicate the damage, you can do that. So that way, if it's it helps good in the warranty work orders. So you can take the pictures, you can identify the damages, you can highlight if there's anything leaks or anything, and then it can be well documented in the system. Save. Okay. And lastly, there is a sign-off report. So let me now click on stop. So once I'm done with the job, I can click on stop, and that will just give me the summary of the work. So I worked on it for 6 minutes, and I close this, and I can go and do a sign-off report. Now, there is also an option available for mechanic. Again, it's by choice. They can set the once they complete the work, once they fix the job, fix the machine, test it out, they can tell the service manager, yeah, I completed this job. So they can mark it as complete. So the moment they mark it as complete here, Extend ERP will also get updated as a completed. From the released status, it will move to the complete status. So any service writer can then filter for all the complete jobs, and he can start preparing to close those work orders.
Great.
Okay. So then you have a sign-off report. You can go here, click on the sign-off report, generate new sign-off report. Yes, all material installed. Select. And this is the sign-off report with the complaint text. Okay. And the number of hours he worked on. So this is a base format what we have. Okay, you can look at this. I can send you a sample of this so that you can review that internally and let me know if anything is there on this. Okay, and you have capture signature, so you can click on this. Here the capture of signature for the technician, so it's Raghu, and you can take the signature, accept signature from the customer. Name of the customer. So the same will be displayed right here. Okay, and you can click on email to email this to a customer or your manager. Again, I'm using the BlueStack, so I don't have the email configured here.
So if you took pictures while doing the job, would it show those in there anywhere?
No, not on this sign-off report. It
Okay.
will be for the internal, which will go on to the service job.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let me go back to this eScheduler. Okay, so here if you see now it is stopped because I have stopped working on it. And now if I go here and click on details, if I go to view sign off report, I'll be able to see that here. So if the job is worked for multiple days, you will see multiple lines showing each of the sign off reports. I click on this and I can see that sign off report right here.
Great.
Yeah, I'll share a sample of that page with all the details. Like I'll put as many details I can on that, like parts, labor, others, and then you have all the different text, and then you can see and discuss what exactly how you want it, and then you can request for that customization, and we can do that.
Okay. A question about parts. At one point, I think I remember Raj telling us that, or it may have been Rohit, that if we have a parts warehouse set up for each mechanic's truck, then that we could make them able to add parts from their truck to the work order, but not let them add parts from the actual warehouse.
Yes, yes, yes.
Cool.
So that will work fine because let me just show you that. Let me just try to bring up the service tech app again. So it's an auto sign in. So once your credentials are put, you don't need to key in those credentials again and again. So right here, currently I have not configured the technicians to make them able to add parts. So they will be able to select the part section and click on add, and they can type in the part number, save, and they can save, and they can do a pick and confirm. So that will allow them to draw inventory from their own trucks if they want.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that option is available. Now again, there is a whole lot of setup involved in this, which we can set it up before going live. Let me just show you that here. So here, this guy is the administrator. Okay. So right here, so I am in the web application. So administrator will be having a web application where he can configure all of that. So if you look at the mobile mode is only for the technician. So there is limitations within that. You can do so much in the mobile app, but in the web application, you can manage the administration part of it also. So if I go to the administration, I have a setup here. So technician and edit. And here I can see there's an option here to pick and confirm. Currently it's not authorized. He is not authorized. So once I make him as authorized, he will be able to do that. He can see the parts, add the parts, but not pick and confirm. So I can set this up. Also, in the there is a option available in Extend ERP where you can configure what branches he can pick and confirm for. So that again, that is the part of the setup which we can do in the Extend ERP.
Okay.
Okay. So let me just take notes so that I don't forget to test it out before I land there. So okay, so that's all about the application here. Okay, and you can set it as complete, yes. So the job will get completed. Okay, so now if I go back and check this, just refresh the screen, I'll be able to see it as C. And the moment it becomes C here, the color of this work order is green. So green indicates that it's completed. Okay. So that's the mobile application and the service order, service scheduler application. Now it's the same when you look at the service tech web app, web application. It's pretty much the same. You have an option to see the assign orders. From assign orders, you can select and start, and same option as accept, reject, all that. But it's more for the shop technicians because they may not have given a mobile phone and they'll be working through the one common computers available on the floor. But the process is pretty much the similar.
Okay.
Okay.
On the administration side, the user setup, I saw LDAP there, but is it connected with our domain or?
Yes.
Okay, so if we
Yes,
have
connected to the domain. Now again, you can have this service tech application not connected to a domain if you want. Like you can create the local users, okay, and you can manage it in that way. Okay. So it's up to you how you want to do it, because if you want to remember, because sometimes if the technician is not if he is not able to do something or some stopping the activity or adjusting his time, so a service writer or a manager may want to do that for him. So in those cases they will have to share the password, which is the password for all of his accounts.
Ooh, yeah.
That's the reason why we have given the choice to create the local users. Now again, this is something which we can discuss as well when I'm there. But I've seen both working fine. With LDAP setup also it works fine, so I don't see any issue there. But if you want to create the local users, it's fine, because many times they switch. The attrition is high. Your retention attrition is high. So sometimes the many users will be added through things like that. So just to manage that, you can go towards local users if you want. But LDAP is that.
So if we went with the LDAP or the Active Directory type setup, and a user forgets to clock out doesn't want to give the manager his password, how, I guess in ERP somewhere, those corrections can be made to his...
No, within the application right here, we can make that change. So
Okay.
he can go to manage labor and he can do that. See, now there is an option available for a service manager to go and adjust the time for other technicians. But again, there will be something for which he may need to access his. So either through a go-to meeting or something, he will have to then do it. But yeah, 99% of the time, a service technician himself can fix most of the issues or corrections.
Okay.
Now again, if he's a young guy, and like, I'm not trying to be, don't take me in other way, but if he is technically savvy person, a technician, he will be able to do that quickly. If he is not that good with the technology, then he may need assistance from a service writer or a manager.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it is. So, but all that works fine. So it's if you want, we can set that up in that way.
Okay, and then if it was set up that way, as long as we set up a brand new technician in our Active Directory, had him in the right folder, then it would automatically create the user in this system, or do we have to do that through an eCare type setup?
No, you can do it from this system itself. So I can show you how to add those, the new users. So there is an import employee. You will see all the employees right here, and you can search for them and you can add them into the system.
Okay.
Okay. So as long as the employee code is linked to the as a user login, then you will be able to draw that. So
okay.
Let me take a note on this so that I can inform my team so that they can set up the LDAP on this application as well. Okay.
And remind me, the 3 weeks that you're here, how many days do you need for configuration? And then I know we've got the choice between doing a lot of choices on how we do the trainings and the go lives, but
Right.
I assume you need a couple of days before we start that stuff.
Yeah. See, I think with the setting it up for the training purpose, that will be ready before I come there.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. So that's what, because it's 203 odd technicians and 25 mechanic service writers. So I'll be making that setup before I land there. And then on 8th, maybe if I come there on the 8th or maybe 7th or whatever, we can start by 10 o'clock in the morning. We can start training or whatever, however we schedule our time. But we can begin at 10 and then it's all till we complete the project. But once we go on to the live system, after the training and between going live, I would need at least 3 days to 4 days to complete the setup on the live.
Okay.
At least 3 days, I would say.
So if we wanted to do regional trainings, and we've got, I think, 4 main regions, do you think that's feasible for the 3 weeks?
So what we can do is we can have a training done on the first week, first 3 days, and we can have as many most service managers or service writers there, your key user team.
Okay.
That way, there are at least 4 to 5 people getting trained on these 2 applications. and then they can train with my with me being around. They can train to other users and other technicians. Again, we can bring up, if you want, you can onboard all technicians from one branch, or you can pick a handful of technicians from one branch and go live with them and then take it to other users.
Okay.
But when we if I'm going to do a region based, then I won't need 3 days every time. I may need a couple hours to a day, depending on number of users, to set that up in the live system.
Okay.
Yeah. So every time I won't need every time 3 days to set that up in the live system. If we are doing region wise, then yes, I would need a half a day to complete one particular branch, or if it is a four different branches with 60 odd users, 70 odd users, then I may need 1 day to set that up. Or
Okay.
we can share that, I can train you how to, because you will be having somebody who will be configuring these users once we go live, and when you hire a new person. So I can train you or your team member on how to set that up, and we can collaboratively complete that activity.
Okay. One of the ways we were, I was discussing this with our service division manager, and he liked the idea of having multiple trainings for the service managers, one in each region, I guess. And then having those service managers train the tech, or I say service managers, service key users in that region, train the techs and go live while you're there. But I wasn't sure if that kind of setup could be done in 3 weeks with 4 regions or not. Seems like it may be squishing it in there pretty tight.
Right.
But maybe we just need to combine a couple of regions to be able to do that type of setup.
Okay. Now, what is your availability for next week and this week? Maybe next week. Are you in town, or you're traveling, or what?
I am traveling today, and then tomorrow I have a lot of availability. Next week, let me look at my phone. That may be the easier way to do this.
Now, I'm asking this, just to make sure I get some of the questions today, that is LDAP, answered by end of this week. Then I can talk to you about setting those users up, instead of consuming 3 days. When I'm there, I can finish off some of the live setup right now.
Oh, okay.
Right, that way, and I would need to discuss some of those things with you before I come there, so that we can finish off some of the live setup as well.
Right. Yeah, I think that's very feasible.
Yeah.
And next week I should be able to be available. We've got a finance consultant or accounting, whatever it is, and possibly Raj in town, but I think they'll be talking mainly to other people. I'll just be observing when I'm not needed by you, I guess. But, if I do end up being unavailable, I bet Chris and Shelley probably would have the same answers as I would.
Okay. Now, I think I would need some of your guidance on some these user setup only on the live system with the LDAP. So what I can do is I can collect information on that. Maybe if required, we can set up a joint call with my one of the development team member, so that because I'm not too technical about this, so I can take some of the help from him, and we can coordinate and have some a quick call to discuss that.
Great.
And if we can achieve setting those up before 8th, it would be better. or before we go on to the live system, it would be better. That way, we don't utilize our days in setting those up in the when I'm there, and we can just focus on the training. We can just focus on end user training and going live and support and things like that.
Great.
Okay, so let me work on that. Let me work with my team member here, and then I will contact back to you maybe next week. I'll send an email, and then we can fix a time to discuss this.
Okay. And one thing that might be helpful is if a lot of the work to be done is user setup, it'd probably be good to get Chris, Shelley, and myself involved just so we make sure we know how to do that going forward.
Yes, yes, of course, yes. And with 203, you'll have enough practice, I guess.
Yeah. And with an import, that doesn't look too difficult either. So.
Yeah. So let me work on that, and I'll get back to you next week, early next week.
Okay.
And we can fix a time. But so far with the application, you are comfortable. You see a benefit and out of this, right?
Absolutely. I need to discuss with our service guys whether they think we want to go the computer route or if we're going to be looking at different phones or what our plan there is. But I mean, field techs, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's great.
Okay.
Oh, I did have one more question. When they're clocking in for the start of the day or onto a job, does it log a GPS location?
Yes, there is a GPS tracking available. So location update interval every 15 minutes. So if you want, we can reduce that to whatever you want. And with every clock in, there is a log that is kept after every 15 minutes. Whenever that location is updated, there is a log kept in the system.
Great. I just picture a service tech accidentally clocking in at midnight or something.
Yes. So again, everything doesn't go directly to the work job. There is a gatekeeper where the review can be done. And once all the time is adjusted correctly or clocked in correctly, you can just approve that and it's all goes in correctly. There should not be an issue. But if you ever have to go back and review, let's say if a technician's time posted as 15 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, and you want to critique that, then you can do that.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll get back to you on Monday or send an email across. And meanwhile, I'll work with my team member to get live setup and estimate how much time it will take. And if we are going to and I'll also talk to him about the LDAP setup. And once that is done, we'll get fair amount of idea on how much time it will take, and then we can plan the future course of action. Okay?
Sounds great.